Are Florida homeowners being forced out of the state of Florida by insurance companies like Citizens Insurance? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, I'm Paul, your local realtor with Keller Williams and guide to South Florida living, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you from a very windy Boynton Beach. I'm standing in front of the Boynton Beach Inlet, and you can see the waves kind of coming in. And it has been a wet couple days here in South Florida. And well, if you look behind me, we got more clouds up there, and we're expecting more rain. It's been flooding quite a bit here. If you've paid attention to the news and watched, especially places like Fort Lauderdale, downtown on Broward Boulevard and downtown Fort Lauderdale district there, it was completely flooded. There were cars in the middle of the street. I mean, it looked like Armageddon. So, and it's not even hurricane season yet, or even the beginning of our rainy season. It's April, and that's not good. So, a lot of flooding going on here, but it looks beautiful today. It's nice, blue skies, and very windy. As you can see a boat coming in over here. But we're going to talk about the Florida insurance problem and how that's affecting many homeowners here in the state of Florida. So it's no surprise that homeowners insurance in the state of Florida has gotten pretty expensive. I mean, it's been in the news for the past couple of years. It's just been going up and up. And with storms like Hurricane Ian last year, that didn't help any. But also the fact that there's been a lot of fraudulent claims for people looking to get new roofs and stuff. You know, there's a whole lot of factors going into why the insurance is just a whole heaping hot mess here in the state of Florida. So I'm over here by the pump house. That's the pump house right behind me. That takes all the sand that builds up here, and they take it and then they pump it out way back over there. You probably can't see it, but there's a pump, and so all the sand doesn't build up. But along with that rainy weather, we had some like super bad winds here for like the past 3 days, crazy winds. I mean, it kind of felt like a hurricane. And well, they got it closed off. Normally you could go out here and go out there and fish, but they must, maybe they got some damage on the railing and they're doing some work. But you know, the other day the waves were coming clear over this. So the weather has been pretty crazy lately. And as I said, with all that rain, we did have a lot of flooding. And that's why we're talking about the insurance here in Florida. Well, let's go to the basics before we start talking about the insurance in Florida. So when you're buying a home in the state of Florida, for those of you who may not know, new homeowners, first-time home buyers, you have to get an insurance policy if you're financing your house. It's also a good idea if you're paying cash to have insurance because you want your home protected, right? Fire, tornadoes, theft, wind damage, there's all kinds of things, right? So you want to have an insurance policy to protect your house. And you also want to have flood insurance if you're in a flood zone. And today what we're going to be talking about, and you know, I said, is citizens trying to drive Floridians out of Florida. Well, we're going to talk about that. There's some big changes coming over the next 3 years with insurance, in particular with Citizens Insurance Company. So there's a lot of things that go into the cost of insurance for a house and how they determine that. So when you're buying a house, you're going to have your home inspected. And when you get your home inspected, you're going to get what's called a 4-point inspection and a wind mitigation report. That 4-point inspection is done by the home inspector, and they look at 4 things. They look at the roof, the plumbing, the HVAC, and the electrical. And they want to see that those things are all in good condition on the home. So when you get that report back from the home inspector and you send it off to your insurance company to get a quote, then the insurance company is obviously going to want to know a couple other things, like when the home was built, where is the home located? Is it next to the ocean? Is it next to a river? Is it next to a lake? Is it made out of concrete block, stucco, or is it wood frame? You know, they're going to look at the roof. They're going to look at all those things from the 4-point inspection. You know, make sure you don't have old wiring. Make sure you don't have a thing called polybutylene pipe, because polybutylene pipe is a nightmare, and they typically won't insure the home if you have it. They're also going to look at stuff like the age of the roof and see what the life expectancy of the roof is. So if it's an older roof and they do the inspection on it and they determine that the life expectancy of that roof is less than 5 years. It was 3, but I talked to an insurance person today, and I believe it's going to 5 come July 1st. So if there's not greater than 5 years left of life expectancy on that roof, they probably won't insure the home. They won't give you a policy on it. So there's a lot of factors, all these factors that will go into it, and other things about the house and location. And again, it all depends on where you live in Florida too. But all those are going to go into the quote that you're going to get for the insurance on the home. Now, at one point, you used to have a lot of options for insurance companies. Florida used to have a wide variety of companies that you could get quotes from. But over the years, many of those insurance companies have pulled out of Florida and no longer offer policies. And when you had all those companies, it made it more cost effective because obviously there's more people to offer insurance, to bring the prices down, and it was good for everybody. But over the past 5 years, it's just gotten progressively worse as more and more companies have stopped writing homeowners policies here in the state of Florida, and that left people with one option, to go to Citizens. Citizens is the state-funded insurance pool, all right? What we used to refer to as the last resort, the company of last resort that you go to. And they have now grown so big and have insured so many people in the state of Florida that they're now actually the largest insurer in the state of Florida. I believe it was Liberty I think Liberty National, I can't remember the company I saw, but there was another insurance company that was larger. But I believe now the Citizens has surpassed them, and they're now the largest provider of insurance for homeowners here in the state of Florida. Now, one of the reasons that a lot of these companies pulled out of Florida is Florida is considered the most catastrophic state in the United States. We have the worst storms, and no matter how you look at it, whatever your belief is with global warming or if it's not, there have been increasingly bigger and stronger storms throughout Florida over the 30 years that I've lived here. And it just seems to be that even the summer storms get stronger and worse. The lightning is worse than I've ever seen in 30 years. The downpours have been worse. So something's going on. And obviously with hurricanes like Hurricane Ian, a lot of insurance companies are just like, screw it. We're going to pull out. We don't want to be here. I'm not saying that's good, but it's just a fact. So that left you people with little to no choice for getting their home insured if they could get insurance on the house. And that company of choice was Citizens. So the average cost of a homeowner's insurance policy in the state of Florida is about $2,385. Now, take in mind that they're taking an average of all of South Florida, and places like South Florida and anything near the water are obviously going to cost a lot more. But those numbers have been on the rise, and to the detriment of many homeowners. I mean, I have buyers that are in shock when they get the quote for what it's going to cost for homeowners insurance. And it's unbelievable that you have to pay so much to insure your home, and it makes it almost impossible for some people. It puts them out of the ability to afford a home. If their insurance quote is $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 a year for homeowners insurance, they can't spend that money and still afford to buy the house. So it is a real problem here in the state of Florida. And unfortunately, I always try to keep my channel light. You know that. I try to show you why I love South Florida and all the things about Florida, what I love about it. But this one, I'm not going to blow smoke up your backside and lie about. It sucks, and it's only going to get worse, and it's about to get a whole hell of a lot worse. So if you think insurance premiums are high now, wait till July 1st, because word has it that if you're with Citizens, your insurance premiums will be going up 40 to 50%. That's right, you heard me correct, 40 to 50% come July 1st, 2023. Oh, and it gets a lot worse than that. So remember when I was talking about all the flooding that's been going on? Well, as of April 1st, any person who got a policy with Citizens and they're in a flood zone, they had to have flood insurance. So that's not so different, because you've always had to have flood insurance if you had a mortgage or a federally backed loan. Sorry, I can't talk here. And you're supposed to have flood insurance, but only 65% of people actually do. So there's a whole bunch of people who don't have that flood insurance, even though their lender's telling them that you have to have it. So come July 1st, every Florida resident who's insured with Citizens already and is in a flood zone, you're going to have it, and they're going to be cracking down to make sure that you have flood insurance. But it doesn't stop there. It's going to keep rolling. So come January 1st, 2024, everyone that has a house valued at $600,000 will have to have flood insurance. 2025, Everyone that has a house valued at $500,000 will have to have flood insurance. Come 2026, everyone that has a house valued at $400,000 will have to have flood insurance. And by January 1st of 2027, every single homeowner in the state of Florida will have to have flood insurance, whether you're in a flood zone or not. That's right. You can be in the middle of Florida, not an ounce of water around you. Guess what? You're going to have flood insurance, whether you like it or not. So that's what's coming, and that's the result of all the crap that's been going on with our insurance companies here in the state of Florida. Whether it's the insurer's fault, whether it's the people committing fraud's fault, whatever. Everyone is about to get royally screwed if you're with Citizens Insurance in the next couple years. Looks like there's more than one storm coming. Look at that weather behind me. Looks like it's progressively getting worse, and the rain's about to start coming back again, and well, looks like we're gonna have more flooding like we had down in Fort Lauderdale. That's not good. Now, I was talking to someone the other day about flood insurance, and you have to understand that if you're not in a flood zone, flood insurance can be as little as like $100 a year, but it can also be as much as $10,000 a year, depending on where you're at. And I just spoke to one of my insurance friends and found this out for those looking to buy a condo, and I didn't know this, but most of the time condos have a master policy. The master policy covers the condo building and everything out there, and you had to have content only, a policy that covered the interior contents of your condo. Well, now you have to have flood insurance too. Now I thought, well, maybe if you're on the first floor, but no. Even if you live in a penthouse, if you live in a flood zone, you have to have flood insurance. And that's effective now. So that's gonna affect a whole lot of people because the HOAs have drastically gone up in all these condo buildings and areas because the insurance premiums have gone up. And now on top of your content only policy, you're gonna have flood insurance. So currently the state of Florida has about 1.7 million flood insurance policies in effect. But if this takes place and all of the 1.2 million citizen policyholders sign up, it will nearly double the footprint of the Florida flood policies here. So, there's a reason they said that only 18% of the people who were flooded out on Hurricane Ian had flood insurance. So, and a majority of the damage for those homes was caused by flood, and only 18% of them had flood insurance. So, you can sort of see why they're doing this, but it's still gonna be a burden on so many homeowners. By the way, if you like seeing videos like this, please be sure to hit my subscribe button, click the like, and leave a comment down below. It helps out my algorithm. It helps people find my YouTube channel. But yeah, it's insurance in Florida, man. There's just not a whole lot of positive to talk about it. And you know me, I'm a pretty positive guy. I always try to show you the good in Florida. But as a licensed real estate agent with Keller Williams and someone that helps people move here, and I have a YouTube channel about getting people to move here, this is something that I have to let people know about because I would be remiss if I didn't warn people that things like this are happening and come to Florida and buy a home and then get shocked when you hear about the insurance. I had to get over here on the beach. How could I come to the beach and not actually walk on the beach? Look how beautiful it is. Well, kind of beautiful. The blob's coming. That stupid seaweed. It's out there and it's just gonna keep coming all summer long. But the insurance is a big problem right now. It affects people in so many different ways. I have family members, as I said, who are getting ridiculous quotes of their insurance going up. And, they don't get a big pay raise to cover that. That's just an unexpected cost that now all of a sudden they have to because they have a mortgage on their house and they have to pay this ridiculously new high insurance rate. And then, I've got young home buyers who are trying to buy their first home and, it's like before we even want to get further down the road, I'm already having them reach out to the insurance company and trying to, get these things done as soon as possible, like during our inspection period. But even before we get there and put an offer, we're looking at the house very closely and trying to decide, is it even worth putting an offer on it? Because if it has an old roof and it has old this and old that, and if it's in a flood area, the chances are they're going to get a ridiculous insurance quote or no insurance quote at all. And we just don't want to waste our time, their time, or anybody's time. So, it's one of those things that's happening in Florida right now. We hope it's going to get better. I don't know when it's going to get better. All I can tell you right now is it's not good. And for the next 3 years, it's going to progressively get worse. At least those Citizens people will. Whether there's more, competition and more insurance companies that are going to start, providing policies here in the state of Florida over the next few years. I don't know. We'd like to see that. Maybe that'll help drive the cost down. But right now, what we have is what we have, and it's not that great. So, guys, I've always wanted to try to show you what I love about Florida. I'm not one of the YouTubers that talks about the doom and gloom and the sky is falling and, this and that, but this is real, this is happening, and it's happening right now. And for a lot of us, me included, we don't have an option. We're not going to another state. We're not moving out of Florida. This is where I live, this is where my wife is, this is where my kids are, this is where my friends are, and I'm not moving out of Florida. And a lot of other people aren't moving out of Florida, but a lot are. A lot of people are thinking about moving out of Florida because of this, and that's unfortunate. I spoke to someone the other day about it, and a lot of people looking at places like Georgia. So if you are planning on selling and you do plan on leaving Florida, at least reach out to me and give me an opportunity to sell your house so I can afford to pay these insurance premiums, and I can connect you with realtors anywhere in the country because I know a bunch of great realtors around. But, seriously, it is something that only time will tell how it's going to get better. But anyway, guys, well, I can't always bring you the rainbow and sunny video.
Oh my gosh, it is a double rainbow. I cannot believe it.
I did have to bring you this, but I've got some cool video coming out Sunday, so you'll see that one. But anyway, I'm Palm Beaches Paul. I'm with Keller Williams Real Estate. Please reach out to me. Go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, and go to my website, palmbeachespaul.com. You can do all your searching there for homes and learning about living here in South Florida. And as always, get out and enjoy paradise. I'll talk to you real soon.